Hey, everybody, off the Mike Sports Network here. More NBA free agency coverage. We've been waiting for the big domino and the big wow moment of the early NBA offseason to happen, and it happened on Tuesday morning as Myles Turner of the NBA runner-up and Eastern Conference champion Indiana Pacers is not staying there. He was the longest tenured Pacer. There had been so many rumors that he would be going to the Lakers. He'd be going to a bunch of trade sites. He stayed it out for a decade in Indiana, was a free agent this offseason. Everybody thought he was going to go back. Indiana was going to go into the luxury tax for the first time in 20 years. And out of the blue, on Tuesday morning, Shams Charania, I had to double check this to see that this actually happened. It was one of those moments. It wasn't quite Luka Doncic going to the Lakers back in February, but this was a holy ship type moment because it's like Myles Turner was a staple in an institution in Indiana. And then on top of it, he goes to the Milwaukee Bucks. I mean, this is stunning. A 4-year, $107 million contract going from a team that the Pacers eliminated in the first round. They've eliminated them in the first round each of the last two seasons. Leaves a team that, granted, even though they were one game short of an NBA championship, they're going to be significantly, hamstrung, obviously, with the injury to Tyrese Halliburton. And he's more than likely not going to play a large chunk, if not the entirety of next season. But this is a stunning development. There's a separate development out of this where I have some questions about where this goes for the Milwaukee Bucks, because they have they've done a decent job of kind of rebuilding their team, bringing back some of their key free agents. Gary Trent Jr. was one of them. Giannis, I'm not sure what he feels about it. Chris Haynes reported one thing. Shams Charania reported another thing. So I'm not really sure where this whole situation lies. But in terms of Myles Turner, this is a stunning, and really unpredictable end to a great tenure in Indiana. And it really stinks the way it happened. But I talked to a couple people who I know who are in the know or who are fans of Indiana, and they kind of expected this, that it might go this way, especially after Tyrese Halliburton went down in Game 7. Still, to see this is surreal. And if you're an Indiana Pacer fan, I don't know how you feel good about this, because now not only are you down your best player, Myles Turner, even though he was not particularly great in the NBA Finals, he's a big piece of this team. So they do stay out of the luxury tax. It'll be Pascal Siakam. You'll have Nembhard. You'll have Nesmith. They still have players. I think they could still potentially make a run to be in the playoffs, but they're definitely not going to be where they were this year, hosting a home playoff series. I don't think they're one of the 4, 5, 6 best teams in the Eastern Conference. Milwaukee's interesting because it really depends on if Giannis is going to sign up for this, because the other piece of this to make this happen, and I will talk about this in a separate video, is Damian Lillard's not there anymore. Damian Lillard got waived, which is wild that after 2 years they are blowing the whistle on that whole experiment with Dame and Giannis. Like they blew up a lot of things to make that happen, and they are sacrificing this for Myles Turner. Myles Turner is a really good player, but it's a wild sequence of events. I think Milwaukee is definitely a playoff team if Giannis wants to stay around. And Myles Turner certainly makes them a very intriguing team because of all of their size. And Myles Turner effectively comes in and slots into the spot that was occupied by Brook Lopez for all these years with Milwaukee. But man, just going back to the Indiana side of this, man, what a terrible couple of weeks for this franchise. They're on the doorstep of winning a championship on the road. Game 7, they force a Game 7. They have the early lead. They're looking really solid, and then their star player goes down with a ruptured Achilles. He's out for probably a majority, if not all of next season. They lose the game to Oklahoma City, heartbreaking fashion, heart-wrenching loss. One of those that you're going to be remembering for a long time, and they'll be thinking about some of the other games in that series that they fumbled, particularly Game 4. And then the guy who was a staple of your franchise for a decade walks out the door, and you get nothing for it. It's not like, on the Richter scale of things to happen in an NBA offseason. This is Like, in terms of name, it's not that, but in terms of value and in terms of what this guy meant to this franchise in Indiana with the Pacers, it's about as big of a deal as you can imagine. Because I listen, Indiana was ready to pay him. They were ready to pay him. I don't know if that changed after the Halliburton injury, because obviously you're resistant to now paying having more penalties, and restricting yourself from spending more money because of all of the new things with the CBA, and maybe that played a role in this. But man, like now if you're Indiana, you're really fighting to get into the play-in right now. That's really where you are. Because like I said, I don't expect to see Tyrese Halliburton until, at least 2026, late into the 20s, late into like, probably into like, I'd say February, March, April, if they're lucky. He may not play at all next season because it happens so late. And we're talking 9 to 12 months on the conservative time. Like you're 9 months on the conservative time, 12 months. And we're talking about a guy who's as shifty as they come as a point guard and a ball handler. You're putting a lot of like, stress on your legs. So I don't know, man, but if you're a Pacer fans, get at me in the comments here. I feel for you, man. Like that's a double gut punch. I mean, the only thing worse that could have happened is if Siakam's not signed up long term. At least you got him. He's a champion, really kind of a B-level superstar, but I think he can help them stay above water. But now that you don't have Myles Turner, that significantly hamstrings your center position. DeAndre Ayton's still out there. Al Horford's still out there at the time of this recording. So I don't know what they're going to do. It's a great move for Milwaukee to kind of sort of stabilize the situation. If they can get Giannis on the same page, they could be a really interesting team in the Eastern Conference if they can figure out their perimeter situation with the guard play. But yeah, from an Indiana perspective, man, like I feel for you guys, man. Even though you guys knocked me out, you broke my heart when you did that to my Cleveland Cavaliers. I listen, that's rough, man. Game 7, star player gets hurt, and now got longest tenured player, felt like he was going to be a Pacer for life, just walks out the door and goes to one of your biggest rivals, the team that you knocked out the last 2 years. That's a gut punch. All the best to Myles Turner. You got paid, and there's a chance he's going to play next to Giannis, which is pretty fucking cool. So, yeah, crazy NBA news. I did not see that development. We will have more on the second piece of this story, which is Damian Lillard is now a free agent. He has been waived, just outright waived and stretched by the Milwaukee Bucks. Guy with an Achilles injury, playing for a Jimmy Haslam partially owned team in the Milwaukee Bucks, getting cut, and now he's a free agent. The Bucks, man, like another head-scratching move. We'll talk about that later here on the channel. Thanks to everybody who's watching. Again, Pacers fans, I feel for you. It's going to be okay. In the end of the day, you guys had a great run here. Hopefully you'll get back there soon. Just don't do that to my Cavs ever again. So anyway, thanks so much. I'll see you guys. Bye-bye.